Hello, everyone. I'm Jennifer Kumar from Authentic Journeys. I want to walk you through how to make the American R sound, and I'm going to compare it to a very unique sound in Malayalam. Now, just as a warning, I'm not fluent in Malayalam, but I know a couple words in Malayalam, and I know a couple sounds in Malayalam. And when I lived in Kerala, I used to often make this comparison with a lot of Kerala native speakers of Malayalam, and they found this to be a helpful comparison. It works for many people, but not for everybody. And so that's my kind of warning in advance. So let's get into the lesson. So when we look at the American R sound, let's look at where our tongue should be in the mouth. Now, I'm not an artist, but I tried to make a rendition of the mouth here. I'm going to try to point to various parts of the diagram, but everything is backwards when I look at the screen, so I'm still getting used to this. Okay, so this is your chin here, like the chin, and then this is your lips. This is the lips here. Teeth, top row of teeth, and bottom row of teeth, and of course, tongue. So with the American R, what we want to do is we don't want the tongue to come up and touch behind the teeth. That's a no-no. Then it will look like this. La, la. We don't want that la sound, which comes in Malayalam too, obviously. No la. So what the tongue needs to do is it pull back in the mouth. Just pull it back and lift the back of the tongue up kind of like this. So it's almost touching the back of the mouth, like where the throat is. And the tip of the tongue can either be, flat like this, or it can curl up a little bit toward the top of the mouth. But it's not going to touch the top of the mouth. So it could curl up just a little bit, or it could curl up a lot depending on how flexible your tongue is. So like, I'm sure that's very attractive. Some other teachers were saying that you can learn how to exercise your tongue by even curling it like this. But you won't curl it like that for this letter. You would mostly, if you want to, curl it up, but without touching the middle of your mouth. So where the tongue so up here is for L, right? We don't want that. We want the tongue to come, halfway back in the mouth. And it's not going to touch the top or bottom, but if it curls, it might curl up a little bit toward the top of the mouth. And the tongue will remain flat on the bottom of your mouth. And yeah, the sides of your tongue can touch your teeth on either side. That's okay. And that's completely fine. But the back of the tongue will kind of come up like a hump and touch not really touch. There's still going to be air that flows through there, but it will hump up to the back of the mouth. So that's how you get this sound, And oftentimes when I'm teaching people from Kerala who speak Malayalam, and sometimes even people from Tamil Nadu who have a similar sound, but it's not as common in Tamil, I think, they say the tongue placement for that sound is very similar to this, in that, the tongue goes halfway back in the mouth and it doesn't touch the top or the bottom of the mouth. The tongue placement might be similar. The mouth expression might be different. We're going to go into that, but as long as you get the tongue placement right, you're pretty much going to get the sound right. So just keep this tongue placement in mind. If you're already doing it for the Malayalam sound, then you're probably okay. And I'm making that sound probably wrong right there because I had my mouth position could be wrong. But what we're going to do is just compare it a little bit against this right now. So I already mentioned the tongue goes back, but not all the way back. Now, how do you say the word in the orange? If you're a Malayalam speaker, in the orange box, how do you say that? So I say Mara. Is that correct? Is that the correct accent? Mara. Because if it is, I mean, my tongue is going halfway back in my mouth. My mouth position, how my facial expression looks might not be right, but where my tongue is, it's going halfway back. And just like I already described in the previous section. So that's how I'm getting that sound. And there's some other things that make an American R sound that I'm going to get to in a minute. But Mara is a very common word in Malayalam. For those who don't know, it means rain. And then we can see there's another word on this slide. And let me show you a bigger version of this slide. For those who know Malayalam, you know this pretty well if you can read Malayalam. Alapura. Alapura. Maybe some people who don't know Malayalam know this word because it's actually a name of a very famous town in Kerala. Do you know Alapura? It's a name of a place with backwaters and houseboats and awesome fish curry. And the English version of this town's name is Alapi. But in Kerala, Alapura. And if I pronounced it wrong, make a response video. Help me to improve my accent when trying to say Malayalam words. All right. So this is a helpful comparison to some people. It has helped a lot of people I've coached in Kerala. Now, a few more points to get the American R sound. We have the tongue placement correct in the mouth. So that's step one. You definitely need that. Now, the other part, and this is where it might differ from the Malayalam sound, is when we make this sound in American English, we can sustain the sound. Now, the other day I made a video on how to make the V sound and the F sound. And I mentioned it can be sustained, like it can continue like and as long as you can hold your breath, the sound can continue. And that's similar with the R sound. So I can make the and if I actually hold my hand on my neck, I'll feel the vibration. Or if I go like this, gets loud in there. So that's how another way you can know you got the right sound, because you'll hear the vibration inside your head or feel it in your throat or feel it inside your head. And you can sustain that sound for as long as you can hold your breath doing that sound. And the last part is with the lips and mouth. Now, this could be different, completely different than the Mara. For American R, we need a similar mouth position to W, like when we make the W sound, not when pronouncing the letter W and spelling, but when making a sound in a word like walking, W. You can see my mouth is round, W, and my lips come away from my face. Let me get back to the bigger screen so you can see this attractive part, right? W, W. Round and sticking away. So even if I put my my middle finger on my nose and just put my hand straight down, my lips should touch my hand there. If it doesn't touch, you're not getting that correct mouth position for W or R. W and R. You can see R, R. Sure, that's very attractive. So we want that round mouth. We want the lips to be round and coming away from the face. It helps kind of make the sound a little louder also. And the teeth obviously won't touch. I will be walking to work with my friend Ronald on Thursday at 3 o'clock. Okay, so you can make some crazy sentences like that to practice the R and the W. So back to the slide for a second. The other part that can be helpful for some to get the correct sound for is if you not just see my mouth expression, but my cheeks, right? So my cheeks are not going to be bubbly. Like right now, they're kind of bubbly. They're sticking away from my teeth. Inside my mouth, my cheeks are not touching my teeth. But when we make the American sound, you can suddenly see how my cheeks become like streamlined to my face. So So actually, the inside of the cheeks is like pretty much touching the outside part of the teeth inside the mouth. So many people have taught in the past, actually not from Kerala or India, because I think that maybe there's other sounds that might have a similar expression with the face. But when I taught people from Japan, this was a very hard facial expression to make for a lot of Japanese people. It's really amazing when you start learning phonetics from different languages, because you'll realize how much of the cultural facial expressions also have to do with how we enunciate and articulate different sounds in our native language. So a lot of Japanese people, I used to just have them do exercises at home, like where I would say, okay, just go and look in the mirror and do that. I'm sure it looks really attractive and everything. And in some cases, some people that I taught from Japan actually said that was kind of an obscene facial expression in Japan, and they felt very shy to even do this in a room by themselves, because they were afraid that someone in their family might walk in the room and see them making this obscene facial expression, because apparently where they were from in Japan, that expression is highly rude. This facial expression going, nobody would really do that. I don't really know the reason why, but that's what I heard. So like that, these are all the different tips you can take to make the R sound. Now, you don't need all of these tips. For most of the people I've taught from India who speak Malayalam, the best tip they actually took was comparing the tongue position from the Malayalam R sound to an American R sound. And then they were able to change how they sounded like almost immediately. It was pretty amazing. So even for those Malayalam speakers out there, if you think of different signs that you might see when you're driving down the street in Kerala, a common one would be like stores. Like where we lived in Kakanad, there was a sign, Anjaneya Stores, the name of the store. And how that word stores was written in Malayalam often had the ZH letter there, the R letter. And so even if you were to say stores, and take that same R sound from that R sound from that, spelled with that letter, and translate that, take that sound and then just plop that same R sound into American English words. It's gonna be a lot easier for you to get the sound. So that's my biggest tip, I would say. If you can try to do that, that would be awesome. And I'm telling you, I was shocked how many people this tip has helped actually change their accent and get that American R sound, like almost, within seconds. I wish I could have recorded it and actually shared that with you, but it's all confidential, obviously, so I can't do that here. But if you try this and you immediately see a difference in your sound, would you like to share your response video? It would be amazing. I mean, it would inspire so many people. I have no doubt about it. So I want to thank you for actually taking your time today to, listen to this video. And I really hope that it's helped you. And look out for some other videos. I did the VNF video the other day. You can come to my YouTube channel. You can come to the website, authenticjourneys.info. I actually, I don't consider myself an accent teacher as such. I do help people to communicate more effectively over cross-cultural teams, especially when interacting between India and the US, and finding the right words to convince and discuss about everyday topics in a work-related environment with US Americans. So my website, authenticjourneys.info, or you can get in touch with me at info@authenticjourneys.info. There's Facebook at Authentic Journeys. There's LinkedIn at Authentic Journeys. So you can find me all those places as well. So I'm signing off, and happy R-ing to you. Arr. Bye.